Salarah Starre is a UK-based advanced law of attraction teacher trainer, coach, public speaker, and leading wellness expert. She will share life-changing wisdom about the law of attraction and how you can use this powerful universal law to build a foundation for bigger and bolder manifesting results. It is time to create the life you deserve, and with Salarah's help, you will.
And a very, very warm welcome to Manifesting Made Easy with myself, Salarah Starre. It is wonderful to be back with you again after having a short break. So I missed 1 week of our little gatherings here on Manifesting Made Easy. I wasn't feeling particularly great, a little bit under the weather. I think I'd been working myself a little bit too hard. And basically my body told me to do one. And I had to listen, basically. And I love it when my body does that, because it's an opportunity to listen and to learn to put myself first, which is something that's taken me this long, 47 years, in fact, to learn. And it felt really good. I came back with renewed focus, renewed enthusiasm, feeling all fresh and clean and ready to rock and roll once again. So I did miss our podcast last week. I did sit down to record the podcast last Monday, and nothing really happened other than me slumping on my desk saying, I need to go to bed. So I've learned to listen to myself, which I'm really, really proud of. So I think it's more important that it's very important, rather, that we learn to deeply listen to what is going on inside, rather than trying to get everything done, making sure everybody else is okay, and ourselves suffering in the meantime. So it was a lovely opportunity for me to continue breaking old patterns, and I've come back renewed, fresh as a daisy, and feeling absolutely on form. So I mentioned in our last podcast that I was going to be speaking with you today about soul contracts. Now, everything that I share in these podcasts has been a major part, a major rite of passage, if you like, along my journey in understanding the dynamics of manifesting, and how to go from a mediocre manifester to a master manifester, how to shift gears from fear into the frequency of love, from the head into the heart. And along the way, I realized in the early stages of my manifesting, I was coming very much from a pushy energy, a forcey energy. I didn't know I was, though, right? And I was trying to make these manifestations happen, because underneath it, I was feeling something like not being safe, or scared, or something or another. So I've learned along the way to really start to read my own emotions, the metaphorical mirror of life, in order to help me understand why my manifestations weren't happening, or perhaps I'd get the opposite of what I wanted, or I wasn't getting what I wanted at all. So that's why I'm here, is to share with you weekly wisdom, or fortnightly if I'm feeling a little bit under par, to just help you take your consciousness and your understanding of spiritual laws to a more advanced level, so that you can also shift gear from mediocre manifesting into mastery. I'll have to apologize in advance. We've had loads of deliveries today, and they seem to come at the most inopportune moments. Not that I'm manifesting it. Wouldn't it be nice if we went the whole show and it was nice and peaceful and the recording went beautifully smooth? There we go. Focus on where we're going, not where we're coming from. So mentioning the Wouldn't It Be Nice If game, actually, if you go back on my podcast, if you haven't had a chance to listen to that show yet, I highly recommend it. I played the Wouldn't It Be Nice If game a couple of nights ago, and I was due to take my car in for service. To be perfectly honest, I find that a right pain in the butt, and then the courtesy car, and then having to shift and everything around it. And I always kind of tend to resist those, but I know that it's something that has to be done. So I wrote my Wouldn't It Be Nice If list. Wouldn't it be nice if I got to the garage quickly and easily and handed over the car smoothly? I was the only person in the showroom, so it was a quick and easy handover. Wouldn't it be nice if the courtesy car that I got was absolute top notch? And wouldn't it be nice if I got a call and my car was ready by 3 p.m, ready for my 4 p.m. training? And oh my God, I went to bed that night, and I sound surprised, but I've been doing this for years, but I just love having the evidence every single time. And 99% of what I'd written in my Wouldn't It Be Nice If for that day absolutely happened. So it felt really good. So if you haven't had a chance to listen to the Wouldn't It Be Nice If you just scroll past through my last podcast, you'll easily see it because it's in the title of the show, and give that a go yourself and let me know how you get on. I absolutely love feedback. So please, can you just share your feedback? What's working for you? What's not working for you? If there's anything that you would like me to give you tips and tools on in order to help you take your practice to a new level. But today we are talking about one of my favorite subjects. I have to say all of this I absolutely love and revel in, but this particular one is soul contracts. Now, soul contracts play a massive role in our journey of manifesting. You wouldn't think on the surface of it that these two subjects go hand in hand, but by the end of this podcast, you'll see how I've married them together, learned to work with the wisdom of soul contracts in order to manifest great things in my life, more so on the relationship side of things. But I know what it's like. Sometimes what can appear like we feel like our world is turning upside down. And it was only, it was a few years into my journey that I realized that actually my world wasn't turning upside down at all. It was turning the right way up because I was praying and affirming and visualizing in fine detail about the desired outcomes that I wanted. And of course, I didn't realize how misaligned I was to them. So there had to be great shifts that took place in my life in order to realign it. And every single shift that happened, it felt like things were going wrong. It felt like things were turning, going upside down, back to front and the wrong way around. But I didn't realize actually I was already upside down. And all this was doing was turning me the right way up. So if you are going through anything in your life right now that's challenging, and I'm seeing so many people going through loads of challenges around, if it's not one thing, it's another. It's a bit of a game of whack-a-mole. At the fun fair, you knock one down, another one pops up. You knock that one down, another one pops up. So it does feel like it is accelerated learning for many of us right now. And when we have these tips and tools that I and many other wonderful teachers share, we can learn to navigate through these challenges with a bit more ease and a bit more grace, rather than coming, looking like we've been wrung out like a sponge and been dragged through a hedge backwards. Okay, so this is designed to help you be a bit more graceful in mastering your challenges, but also extracting the lessons from your challenges in order to help you grow, expand your consciousness, and of course, fulfill your dream list, your manifestations. But when our world does feel like it's turning upside down, it just feels like everything's going into disarray, and we actually start to lose sight of the higher power that is actually helping us to manifest our desires through the many, many different forms. But the one we're talking about today is soul contracts. I've got my little dog, Frankie, here with me, by the way. So you may hear him coughing in the background, but he's up and down off my lap. So I may come to and from the microphone, but bless his little heart. He's such a sweet little soul. Okay, so first of all, let's look at, what is a soul contract? You're going, right, you keep going on about soul contracts, Salarah, but what is it? So soul contracts are mutually beneficial agreements written up with other souls before you're even born, so before incarnation. And they're purposefully designed to assist us with our growth, which on the surface of it, you think, oh my God, that sounds interesting. That sounds exciting. It sounds scary. It sounds annoying, especially because some of us have gone through major, major challenges, including other people in our life. And, and some of these soul contracts have been extremely difficult, challenging, abusive. So that's why I welcome any questions, because I can only share with you a snapshot, but there's so much more to this. So if there's any part of this that leaves you with any questions, leaves you feeling triggered in some way or another, please know that I can only complete a certain aspect of this in the show. But if you want to have a discovery call, a free 30-minute call to see how I can help you to overcome anything that's coming up for you, or if you've just got a question, you want to drop me an email, then you can contact me through my website and I'll more than happily answer that for you. So the way that I understand it, and this is where I am right now, okay, so in a year's time, 2 years' time, 3 years' time, I'm sure that my understanding of this will be a lot more expansive. But there are 3 types of experiences that we have with other souls in this lifetime. So this is based on the principle of reincarnation, that our soul has been on Earth and many other planets many, many times. And each time we have agreed to fulfill a certain soul mission. And in order to do that, we have to have contracts with other souls, but it can also be physical elements, it can be places, in order for us to extract lessons to fulfill that contract. So some of these can either be positive and they feel really good, You know, when you meet someone and they just light you up and you have this instant connection and everything's really easy and you have a lifelong friendship. Others can feel really challenging. They can feel like super, super negative, can push your buttons, make you feel stupid, not important, like you don't matter. And others can just make you feel neutral. So you don't really have any charge positively or negatively towards that soul. Now, every single one of these serve us in fulfilling our mission. Some feel way more comfortable than others, as I've illustrated through the positive or neutral ones, but it's actually the negative soul contracts that are actually designed to really help us grow. This is where accelerated growth opportunities come from. So this is where you really start to unlock your next level of your manifestations, because these so-called negative soul contracts show us our limiting beliefs, where we need to heal, where we've got to go in order to grow. And these ones are the ones that actually where the gold dust lies. But many of us, we get so triggered by them that we get lost in the pain and lost in the trigger. We're not able to, or not that we're not able to, we don't have awareness or haven't been shown how to be able to step back and see the contract for what it is, extract the lessons, obtain the gifts, and become an embodiment. So what I mean by embodiment is covered in 5D manifesting. So there's 3 podcasts, 3D, 4D, and 5D. I highly recommend you listen to those in order to truly understand what I mean by embodying. And embodying is where our manifestation is mastery. And this is where we are all aiming to go as souls. So I don't want to divert, just go back and listen to that show. Drop me a line, let me know how you found that one, by the way. You know, and some, like I said, some of them do make us feel more comfortable. So we know that life can be tricky. I'm not going to sit here and, you know, kind of give you this toxic positivity spiel and, you know, this happy clappy kind of Pollyanna vibe where, you know, just think positive thoughts or just be happy, you know, all the time and brush everything under the carpet and don't allow yourself to feel your feelings, and everything builds up inside, and anger and fear and resentment start to grow inside of you, just like the inflation of a balloon, until one day you just pop. What we can do with this information is we can slowly start to root through as we go. So we don't have this energetic, lower vibrational buildup that expands inside of us, which clearly blocks our manifestation. So we know life can be tricky, and our soul knows that in order to unlock the gifts, so in order for us to get these powerful manifestations that we so desire within these challenges, we have multiple soul contracts with various people throughout our lifetimes. Loads of people will come and go through that time. They're meant to. That will show us the contrast of what our soul has come here to learn. So, for example, if your soul has come here to learn trust, you will probably go through some soul contracts which include betrayal. If your soul has come here to learn feeling safe and secure within yourself, you'll probably have a soul contract to do with abandonment. So there's always something, like the very thing that we have come here to learn is usually through the early stages of our life and our relationships, until we wake up, of course, we experience the opposite of it. So we're almost stripped of that. And then our job is to then begin the journey of finding that within ourselves. Like one of my major soul contracts has been not feeling safe, especially around relationships, especially around men, where, you know, I've kind of looked to men for my safety, for my security. I've never found it. All I felt is a place of deeper insecurity, deeper betrayal, lack of trust in every area. So I know that that was part of my contract, to learn to become safe within my own skin, to learn to come safe with me, to learn to trust me, to learn to trust my decisions, to learn that I am the one that can give myself what I'm looking for. That's a whole new subject. This is just me giving you a brief overview on it. So the way I see it, and this is very important and marries very well with the law of attraction, we are creative beings. And the very thing that is missing in this lifetime is the very thing our soul has come to create for our growth. Some people try and bypass these vital spiritual lessons by using the law of attraction and expect, just by doing an affirmation and a visualization, I was one of them, by the way, that everything will just fly to us by magic. And how disappointed are we when we do all the work and what we want just doesn't show up for us? It's really frustrating. But instead of saying, I can't, it's like, right, universe, show me how. What's my next bit? So then we go through the next rite of passage when we start piecing bits of the puzzle together, whether it be soul contracts, whether it's understanding the different levels of manifesting, whether it's mindset, whether it's dealing with limiting beliefs, whether it's releasing resentment, hurt and pain from the past, whether it's soul contracts, whether it's the divine masculine and the divine feminine. We are given the exact bit of information we need at the time that we need it. So if you're listening to this right now, you may be familiar with soul contracts. It means that potentially there's more work to do. Otherwise, you wouldn't be hearing this again. If you haven't heard of this, congratulations, because the universe has just given you your next bit. And this is super, super exciting. This is the part that I absolutely love about this journey, because the information we need is always revealed to us when we are ready and open to hearing it. So what I would massively recommend is listen to the show a couple of times. And also, if you could give me a like and a follow, I'd really, really appreciate that. That helps a little bit with algorithms, which means this vital information can reach more people who really need it most. And share the show would be even better. So back to soul contracts. So for many of us that are on a spiritual or even self-development path, we definitely would have heard the term peeling the onion. I mean, if you haven't, then it's such a powerful term. So basically, it's like our emotions. We're like an onion, basically. And we just keep peeling back one layer at a time. And every single time we do so, an aspect of our soul contract is revealed and our past is released. Now, I remember saying to a coach of mine, but my onion feels like it's an infinite onion, and we just laughed our head off because it can feel like that. But in between each layer, life absolutely gets easier and better each time. So getting to the root causes of our emotional issues or challenges is a part of that deeper dive process. We're meant to do that. We're not just meant to say affirmations, visualizations, put on a happy song and think positively all the time. We're meant to do a deeper dive. We're meant to go into our shadow. We're meant to learn about our ego, how it protects us, how it overcomes us, the positive and negative aspects of the ego. And this is where the deep rewards come to us. This is where emotional freedom truly lies. So soul contracts give us multiple opportunities to learn, and we will simply continue to repeat patterns and cycles until our soul grasps the lesson. So you might have noticed that, this case, you might be there scratching your head going, my past 3 relationships have been like this. Why do I keep attracting the same person or the same thing? But in the early days, when we're in victim mode, we might just blame it. Well, all men are so-and-so, all women are this. And it's like, without actually understanding that, no, they're not. There's some really amazing men and women out there. We are just attracting the ones that are associated with our particular soul contract. And we will continue to repeat patterns and cycles until we get the underlying lesson. So with this in mind, I've gone a massive journey. I went on a massive journey. I'm still on a massive journey to start to look at relationships with other people that were triggering me, but also the story that I was telling myself about who they were, but not really realizing that some of the story I was telling myself about who they were was actually unrecognized aspects of myself as well. We're going to go into the law of projection at some point. Very, very powerful spiritual law, so keep an eye on that one. So understanding soul contracts and agreements, I embraced the opportunities to dive deeper. It wasn't always easy. Sometimes it absolutely, I looked like an absolute mad woman at times. But it was important that I went beyond the egoic illusion in order to uncover my lesson. So my ego, the protective aspect of me, the part that's been telling stories, creates this big illusion about the situation. But actually, when we peel away that illusion, we then start to connect with the feelings and the meanings and the beliefs and the lessons that are underneath that. And that takes time and that takes skill. This is what I'm teaching in my 5D manifesting course at the moment. It's an annual course, so you can join anytime. You'll get all the recordings. That doesn't matter when you join. And this is where I'm going to be taking a much deeper dive into exercises about understanding soul contracts, meditations in your life lessons, how to know what your life lessons are, but also to create an intentional container for consciousness expansion and growth. So have a look in the show notes, because there are details in the show notes of how you can join this monthly program. So there's 90 minutes a month. And if you go for one particular part of the program, you can have unlimited WhatsApp support in between as well. So I'm really, really excited. That starts Thursday. What am I going on about? That starts Tuesday, the 4th of April. So tomorrow. And the reason why I hesitated then is because I'm recording this on Friday and I know that this is going out on Monday. So it starts on April the 4th. I'd love for you to join. For those who are on my moon ceremony, and those listening to my podcast, please in uppercase type in moon50 and you will get 50% off the annual price. And that's my gift from me to you. So back to soul contracts. So like me, you too have had many soul contracts in this lifetime. And each contract has given the opportunity for soul riches and soul expansion. You may have noticed that some of the contracts have been fun. Like I said before, some of them are positive, some of them are fun and uplifting, and others downright challenging. And I say that with a big smile on my face and sweat on my brow, because, oh my God, I absolutely have experienced some deeply challenging soul contracts. I'm grateful for all of them. The gifts I extracted have led me to doing what I do today, to teach and guide and have compassion and empathy and help all the hundreds of people I've helped over the last few years. But as you reflect on your hardest soul contract, you will see that you did learn powerful soul lessons. I look back when I was younger and I was quite often called in to be the mediator between my mum and dad. I was about 12 years old. I mean, looking back, I kind of thought, well, who on earth would do that? But it wasn't until I pondered, well, what strengths did I get from that? I got resilience and I got strength and I got focus, and it's really nice to be able to look at, once we go through the healing aspect of it, we realize actually that we did extract great lessons as a result of that, great learnings, which become a part of the rich tapestry of who we are today. So reflect on some of your hardest soul contracts and just see, what did it make you learn? I mean, I've had a soul contract with a dis-ease called rheumatoid arthritis, and that came in with a vengeance in 2015. And as difficult as it was, and as I wanted to stick my middle finger up to this and tell the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, to F off, once I got through that phase of it, that angry phase of it, I realized that actually that this is a teacher and it's come to teach me something. And I tell you what, oh my God, the lessons that I've learned as a result of this soul contract are absolutely phenomenal. So if I had said what I'm going to say to you now, 5 years ago, I would have, just laughed at myself thinking that would never happen. But I'm really grateful for the opportunity, because it really has helped me to learn self-love on deeper levels than ever before. Have compassion for other people that have health considerations. Really learn about the mind-body connection and the importance of resolving emotions so that they don't go into the body and the body doesn't go into imbalance and dis-ease. So it's been absolutely fantastic. So like I said, soul contracts can be with people, they can be with physical ailments, they can be with places as well, amongst many other things. So remember, we can learn wonderful lessons in inner power, compassion, courage, setting healthy boundaries, and if patterns and cycles are repeating, it's because a lesson has not been learned. And remember, nothing goes away until we learn what it is that we need to learn. And I've always found patterns and cycles very, very interesting subject. And, I work very heavily with this in my coaching and mentoring program. So if you feel that you would like to have a little chat just to discuss what your options are moving forward, whether I can help you myself or at least signpost you in the right direction, then just reach out, salarah@salarahstarre.com, and I'll happily, spend a little bit of time talking that through with you. Anyway, it has been so nice to be back with you. I feel absolutely inspired by everyone here listening because I know how challenging the journey can be, but the fact that you're showing up and listening to this is absolutely incredible. So I'm sending you loads and loads of love all the way from Winchester in the not so sunny part of the UK. So working on manifesting some sun. I look forward to being back with you next week, where I think I'm going to be talking about the law of projection. This is very, very powerful. And this goes on to soul contracts as well. So I'm just going to make a note of that just to make sure that we're creating a nice little journey for you. Anyway, sending loads of love. And I cannot wait to see some of you in person at our community event, Soul Tribe, but also the Moon event. Remember, it's online, it's free, available to anybody, anywhere in the world, as long as you've got internet. And that's next Thursday, the 6th of April at 7:30 p.m. UK time. And again, you can sign up for that, salarahstarre.com, and that's on the events page. All right, loads of love. Take care for now.
Thanks for listening. Salarah Starre will be back next week with great insights into the law of attraction. In the meantime, please visit salarahstarre.com.